Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blue Clouds Media. My name is Nee, and as usual, we're here streaming live. We're bringing you the best news across the continent. You can talk about Chelsea news. Most is what we give you over here, and I'm being also joined by wonderful friends. I have Star here with me. I have another wonderful friend from the Blue community, which is I'll let them introduce themselves later on as the time goes on. But we have lots of news to digest. We have a lot to talk about. We'll be talking about the unveiling yesterday. We saw Chelsea was able to record a win for a long time coming. Chelsea were able to win against Crystal Palace, and we saw how difficult it was for the team, but team was able to win that game. We will talk into that. Most of that have to do with the preview, and I have my special guest with me who will take us through these the preview for almost about 15 minutes before he help out because he's got to do something. I gave him a short notification, so I understand if he has to leave within the 15 minutes. But yeah, also today's topic, we will get into it. We will talk a lot. Chelsea still has more transfer to make before the January transfer window come to an end. We will be talking about, like I said, a review of yesterday's game, Chelsea's game, and also positivity. Chelsea will be looking forward to sign Alejandro and another good player from Barcelona, and then Yunus Musah, another American that Chelsea will be looking forward to sign. Arsenal want Raphinha. Raphinha has been a flop at Barcelona at this moment, but it looks like Arsenal want this guy, Naby Keita, to leave Liverpool. We'll also talk about that aspect. Luiz Henrique to Manchester, Man United or Arsenal. one of them. So we'll also look into that issue. I mean, I don't think United want to replace their coach at this moment. So with that, we'll regard that rumors. But yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. I have staff. Welcome to the stream.
Hi, Nate. Hello, Nate. Hello to anybody in the chat.
Yeah.
And whoever is your other guest.
Can you hear me? Sup?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm talking. Can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you, staff. It's not you. I'm talking to my other guest. If he can hear me. Sep, can you hear me? I think he muted himself. Can you unmute your microphone?
Yeah, there we go.
Hi, how are you? Doing all right. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Glad we finally got a win yesterday.
Yeah, definitely we finally got a win yesterday. It was a long time coming. But before we get into, can you introduce yourself a little bit to the stream?
So I'm Seb. I'm on Twitter. Big Chelsea fan. Often see me at games, home and away. Yeah.
Great. Nice to have.
Ask away.
What was that again?
Any questions, ask away.
Okay. Nice to have you here, brother. I could hear feedback. I'm not so sure what it is. Probably have another probably page open, so I could hear that sound coming in. If you can mute one of them.
Is this me or?
I think it's coming from you because the other guy has paused. He's muted his microphone.
Right.
Okay. I think Seb is fixing his microphone because we have feedbacks. Coming in. Yes, Seb. Staff, yesterday we saw the game. And we knew it wasn't that easy for Chelsea to win that game, but it was a long time coming. Chelsea needed that win badly to be able to get that momentum and to carry on with this with the season. What do you make of that game yesterday, Stav?
Yeah, we did what we had to do. It was a difficult game because they're not an easy team. I expected it to be difficult when I'm oh, sorry. 1 second.
Yeah, you're all right. Yeah, just like you were saying, he expected it to be difficult. Palace have been struggling. They're trying to find form. They're trying to get wins. They haven't won in a long time. So coming to the bridge was a 50-50. Chelsea were also struggling. Stav, are you back?
Yeah, just. I expected it to be tough.
Okay.
I don't want to sound negative, but when I saw Jorginho was in the team, it worried me because I don't know how to put this without being sort of derogatory. I think opponents, when they see him on this team, they sort of get lifted by it because they know he can't resist the press. And teams that are going to go and overload and high press, they get like confidence from that because he can't resist the press. Hence why we're looking for a defensive mid. So, go on, Seb. Your turn.
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
Seb.
I cut
let
out
me know
there.
what you make of the game yesterday.
I mean, look, we got the 3 points. That's the main thing. I don't think the performance was brilliant. I think it's a step in the right direction. I don't think. Yeah, look, I think it was just about getting the 3 points yesterday. We did that. Good to see Kyle on the score sheet. I think that'll give him confidence. Need him to keep that up because he's been really poor recently, along with so many others. But to be honest, I'm just glad we finally got 3 points in 2023.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. We were expecting. I was like, this is a new year. When is Chelsea going to have his first 3 points? But then luckily we got that over the hill and we have that win. But let's look at specific players in your, because I'm going to ask you more questions because I'm not going to have you for that long. In your perspective, what aspect do you think that Graham Potter should have, put so much interest in the midfield going forward, in the midfield and attack. You know how difficult it is. So I'm expecting that. We're expecting that we should have some kind of a new players in the aspect, either defense, midfield, and attack.
Yeah.
In your aspect, which department do you think Graham Potter should have?
Personally, what I think, as everyone's been saying, we clearly need another defensive midfielder. It's so clear, you know. Jorginho for me is not good enough. Kante, you only get him 25% of the season. I don't think Loftus-Cheek's good enough. Gallagher, who knows? I think I've seen the Caicedo rumours. I'm not totally convinced, if I'm honest with you. I think 60, 70 million, I'd rather be waiting for Rice and probably just see out the rest of this season. Okay. And trust in getting those injuries back. And I don't know, I just would rather wait for Rice. I mean, I'm happy with Caicedo. He's a good player, but I think hold out for Rice. He wants us. We've wanted him for so long. I don't think we can let him go to somewhere like Arsenal.
Yeah, I understand. You know, Declan Rice has been linked with the football club for quite a long time, and he's like a true blue. Stav, what do you make what Seb just said in terms of how they have to wait for Declan Rice? And I know we have this FFP issue that you two of us are going to talk about, but in that aspect, what do you make of Rice and Caicedo in terms of the money?
Yeah, the only way Declan Rice is going somewhere else is if Chelsea don't want him. It's virtually scripted, right? That he's going to come to Chelsea, and he's only going to go somewhere else if we decide not to go for him. We don't have any defensive midfielders. Like Kante is a combative midfielder who can carry the ball forward. Right. When he played for Leicester and Leicester won the league, he was paired up with Drinkwater, and Drinkwater did the dirty work. Right. So then that's one of the reasons probably why we bought Drinkwater. Jorginho, he's most effective when he plays for Italy. And for Italy, he's got two minders, right, who protect him so that he can play these balls that everybody keeps waiting for. So, and Jorginho's not a DM. He's not a DM. He's it's what people call like he's a cross. He's a hybrid, right? But I can't say how somebody who can't tackle, can't resist the press, can't track back, doesn't win anything in the air, loses 90% of physical challenges. You can't be a DM. And you look at Makelele, and he could do it because he had a footballing brain. He wasn't physically strong or anything like that, but he read the game. He would get there first, and he would shield the ball. And that's what Jorginho tries to do. Right? Sometimes you've seen him trying to shield the ball. Right? But he takes the easy option. The minute he gets touched, he goes down. And it's embarrassing because if the referee doesn't give the free kick, the other team break away and we're in trouble and we're one play short. And he's not a defensive mid. Gallagher's not a defensive mid. Ruben Loftus-Cheek not defensive mids. They're attacking midfielders. Yeah. Their strength is moving the ball forward, carrying the ball forward. But having said that, Gallagher had a decent game. Put himself about, got booked. Shows he's not scared to get physical. And on top of that, I think Ziyech had a good game. He put a lot of good balls in. He wasn't scared to go past people. That touch on the byline when he got round their player. And I think he's going to go, but I think whilst he's with us, I think Potter's going to show some faith in him and actually stay to him, take people on, which is what he told Hutchinson. That's what Hutchinson said when they were training, like together with Potter, that he told him just don't expect.
On your topic about beating players and being direct, I think hopefully that's why we've signed Mudryk, because he is that man that can run at them, that's direct, that's we've got nobody. I didn't even say Ziyech. We're pushing it if we're saying he's direct. Pulisic maybe is the only one really for me, but I'm still not a fan of him either. I think Mudryk, he's fast. He's going to go at you. That's why you watch Arsenal this year and you go, that's why they do so well, because they've got Saka, they've got Martinelli. They go for it. They go for it. They run at you. They go for those fullbacks. We haven't got that.
Yeah, and even in Sep, in regards to that, you could tell that the way Arsenal play, they don't have a recognized striker. So if you don't have a recognized striker and your players are much more smarter, they're able to move the ball free and freely. If you compare what when you have Haaland playing for City and without Haaland in the team, the free flowing football without Haaland, City are able to move the ball very fast and they play lots of tiki-taka football, and then they get goals, lots of goals. But when you have Haaland in there, the main focal point is Haaland. So everyone is trying to make a point, get the ball and give it to Haaland. And if the team stop Haaland, it means you've stopped Manchester City. That's what it looks like. So I understand what you're saying in that aspect.
Yeah, can I just say, right?
Yeah.
I didn't say that Ziyech's the same type of winger as Mudryk is, right? The difference is, and I watched him before we even signed him, because I watch Ajax as well, right?
Okay.
And he's better combining with fullbacks, give and go, you know what I mean? Which is why I just can't wait to get Reece James back into the team. You saw that season when he was combining with Aspilicueta, right, last season, down that right flank. So he's not someone who's full of pace or anything, but he can accelerate if he has to. But he's more of cunning. I can't describe it any other way. He's more cunning, but he plays with the fullbacks to combine. Like, he'll give it, and then the fullback takes it, and he'll go, and they work the ball down the flank. Right, so that's a different type of thing. But he's good at pinpointing that ball in the danger area. And you saw it yesterday.
The problem with me with Ziyech is it doesn't show it enough. He's got a great pass on him. He's got a wonderful left foot when he wants to use it. For me, I think I'd sell him. If Newcastle want him.
We're going to sell him. I didn't say we're not going to sell him, right? I didn't say we're not going to sell him, because he'll be more suited.
Would you want to keep him, is what I was going to say.
Well, the thing is, if he shows the form he did against Palace, why not? If he shows the form he did against Tottenham more than once, why not? If he shows the form that he did away to Middlesbrough in the Cup, why not? If he shows the form that he did at Crystal Palace when he scored the winner, why not? Right? But you have to have the fullback who's going to combine with him, because then you've got, and it's the same thing on the other side with Chilwell and Pulisic, right? The combinations, even when Alonso played, they combined. Like, Mudryk is going to give us something totally different, and you don't know. Depends what system Potter wants to play. If he's going to play 4 at the back and 3 up top, right, and 2 defensive mids, then the likelihood is he's going to play three quick guys on top, right? In which case you won't use Ziyech, right? Ziyech's natural position is as a cam, right, attacking central mid, but he was converted to the wing by Ten Hag because they already had cams, right? So he moved him out to the wing. So Ziyech's converted winger. He's not a natural winger, right? Which is why you don't see him speed so much.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I wouldn't have much of a Sep today, so I want to ask him more of the questions. So when I lose him, I know I've had enough of him. Sep, we saw the unveiling of Mihailo, I think it's Mihailo Modric. What do you think he can offer the team? And also, by your own opinion, what did you see that you think Potter can change in the midfield? Who do you want out, and who do you think he can put in besides Mihailo Modric that Chelsea have signed? And what do you make of that player?
So I haven't seen much of him, if I'm honest with you. I've seen, clips and comps. It's hard to judge a player off that. I hate it when people, go, "Oh, look, he's unreal," I've seen a few videos. But he does look a proper player, Is he 21? I think. He's
Yep.
young, he's direct, he's fast. I was saying, we haven't got that. So I'm happy with it. I mean, the price, to be honest, I'm not really fussed about. Happy, it's good. I think we're doing, the little donation to Ukraine as well. That's really nice. That'll do some good PR for us as well. I think that's a great gesture from the club. But yeah, I think he'll go straight in the team. If I'm honest with you, I think we haven't really got any competition for him, so I think he goes straight in.
Yeah. What about Buddy Shelley? Buddy Shelley, left centre back that had a debut yesterday. What do you make of him?
Again, yeah, no, hadn't really heard much of him. I think I read one article on him which compared him to Maguire, so I was I think it was The Athletic. I think that maybe a bit concerned, but no, I thought for a debut he was pretty faultless, to be fair. I like the look of him.
Yeah, I think he played well. I think he had a little shaky in the first 15 minutes, but after that, he understood the game and everything was going on. Well, let me acknowledge guys in the chat. We have Phantom of Minute topic. Phantom said, no more new players after Modric. Yeah, there's going to be 3 more signings. I bet you they will. I123 Love You said, hello, my brother. I'm joining you live from work. I'm listening along while I'm working. All right. Well, you're awake. Okay. Thank you very much. I want to love you. Say hit those like button. Yes, they'll hit it. They will hit it with time. I don't know why YouTube is not really helping me today. It's not sending my link like the way it's supposed to. But anyway, yeah, we don't stop talking until we are done. So yeah, what do I have here right now? Stop. What do you want to say anything in regard to Mihailo Modric guy? Before we move on from
the thing with him is I think he's 20, not 21, because we signed him and he's gone on an 8.5-year contract. If you sign anybody 20 or under, you only have to put a certain percentage of the fee onto FFP, and the rest is spread out. Right, so basically he comes in on 88, I think it was 88 million or something like that. And only 40 million of it goes on to FFP. So the rest of it is over the 8 years of contract. That's how we can get around it. But there's still an issue. As a player, I can only say that I've only seen him in clips. He's got what we need, right? But he's not going to find the same sort of room in the Premiership. But the thing is, when you run it the way he does, right, and the pace, he's going to be picking up lots of free kicks and penalties as well. So yeah, it's a good signing.
What I will add about him is he's obviously good. You can see his Champions League stats. I think he's got 6 goals already this season in the Champions League. I think I saw. So he's obviously a talented player. But the one thing for me that worries me is maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, but I just hope that signing him won't prevent. I just really want Felix in the summer. I think I've seen enough in 50 minutes. I just hope signing Mudryk. I mean, who knows how good Mudryk will be, but I just hope this doesn't prevent signing Felix permanently in the summer. That's all, because I can't see how we can spend 100 here, 100 and something on Felix, 70 on Rice. Where does money come? When does it stop? Where does the money come from?
Let me explain this to you real quick before probably when the time is up if you leave. See, there's 2 different things between how do you call it, a release clause. Yeah, between a release clause and also what's the other one, Stav?
Yeah, the thing is, right, we can do it as long as we keep buying 20 or under, right? When you start going over 20, meaning 21 and upwards, that's when the issues start coming.
But if you're below that age, there's with the release clause. What I was trying to say is when player has a release clause on him, it means that you have to pay that money out front. If it's 120, then it means you have to pay all the 120. You can't spread it across the number of years of contract that you got to give this person. So if you watch the new signings that Chelsea have done, they are all over 7 years and above, 7.5, 7 years, because all you can put down will be maybe because Michaelo Madrid, you've seen 100 million, but then it's only 40 million in the books. this year. It's going to be only 40 million. The rest will be spread across 10 million every year until that 7.5 years. So it doesn't affect Chelsea with FFP. If you
Well, it's
look
even
at
less. It's even less.
even less.
Yeah, it's even less.
It's even less. So the numbers are there, but if you don't have someone to explain how this FFP works, and then the release clause, and also I don't know the other one, I forgot the other name. It's a release clause and something else. With that one, with the release clause, like I said, with the release clause, you have to pay out front, just like Enzo. That's why Enzo Fernandez deal cannot work at this moment, because the player that he was being signed just about 5 months ago for 12 million. Now Benfica what 120 million release clause for this player, and a player that nobody knows. And because of the World Cup, it's been hyped. So Chelsea did not rate Enzo Fernandez for 120 million. I want Chelsea fans to understand, because it doesn't worth 120 million. No. And Benfica wants Chelsea to pay 120 upfront for that player. If Chelsea goes ahead and do that, we will be affected by FFP. If you're not lucky, we won't be able to play in the Champions League. If you're not lucky, we won't be able to even sign players. And if you don't play in Champions League, you can't have money. There's a lot of money in that competition. So Chelsea trying to make the best. That's why they're signing young players under age 21 stuff, right?
Yeah. Because you only have to show a certain percentage of the full fee in the first year, which means it keeps our accounts down for this year. And then the rest is spread out. That's why there's 7 and 8 year contracts being handed out. I watched the game yesterday on the official EPL channel, which goes worldwide because I'm in Cyprus. And the commentators made a big fuss out of it, about it's 8.5 years for Modric, the contract, right? Which is half this season and 8 more. And the commentators didn't even know why. They go, they must trust him and they must really rate him to give him an 8.5 year contract. But it's down to FFP. I think, if I remember rightly, I think I mentioned it last week, right?
Yeah, that you did.
That ball, one of the first things he mentioned when he first came in, he said we will have to look at FFP and see where that leaves us. And they've obviously done their research, haven't they? And I said last week, I'm quite sure he knows what he's doing, right? And I mentioned other ways you can keep the FFP down, the credits and stuff on stadium, women's teams and all that stuff. So he's researched it, right? And people need to realise, because I keep seeing on social media, everybody's criticising Bowley, doesn't know what he's doing and all that. Well, he's just proven with FFP that he doesn't know what he's doing, right? He's found a way around it, even though he's never been involved in European football before. He's found a way around FFP.
Well, you see, even Sky Sports keeps slagging him off. What was it? Gary Neville says he's playing Football Manager. It seems like that, but as you said, he probably does have a strategy.
He's a div. What they do is they don't research anything. They just see the money going down, right?
Yeah.
And they don't work out why and how that money's going to be paid, right? And FFP, they don't even understand FFP themselves. I mean, I understood the original FFP, and I've versed myself in the new one because I've got a friend who's a UEFA delegate. So original FFP, I was getting advice off a friend.
Just like what we have in the articles, is Chelsea have found a workaround to FFP whilst unlockers complain. So people don't understand what Todd Bowley is doing. People think he's just some American, so he doesn't understand the term. He doesn't understand football. He has employed people that really understand football. Christopher Verveer has done this many times with RB Salzburg. He's done it with RB Leipzig, and also now with Chelsea. I'm very sure. So they have expertise there doing this job. And Chelsea can go ahead and sign 3 more players, and people will be like, what is going on? And I'm telling you, there are 3 more players coming. Go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, you send that thing that I sent you. Send it to, is it Sean? Sean?
I'll send it to Seb so he can read it and understand this later on his Twitter page.
so he can read it and
I'll send it to you, Seb.
himself.
I'll send it to you. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
cool.
you can.
No, I'll give it a read.
Yeah, and
And
then
the
you can
thing
read
is,
it.
it's not just Bowley; it's Clear Lake. Right, Bowley's the face. He's not even the major shareholder. He's a minor shareholder, right? What they've done, they've bought the club and they've said to him, "You go and deal with everything. You're the face. You're the chairman, right?" But he still has to discuss it with them.
Yeah,
It
everyone
can't
seems to
nothing.
forget this. They go, "Oh, Bowley the owner." No, he's got to, he's got to talk it through with loads of other people.
There's
It's
five of them in total. I think there's three Clear Lake, Bowley, Vice, the Swiss guy, and one other person. Right, so it's not Bowley, just Bowley. And then now every time I go on social media, I keep seeing people go, "No, what we signing that guy for? What we signing this guy for?" Right, we need to get decent scouts. Right, well, we've just done that. Right, we've brought in the best talent, scouts, right, from Brighton and Southampton. We've got a guy from Southampton, right, and Southampton and Brighton have got acknowledged academies as well. Southampton have a really good academy, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And they brought them in, right? We'll still use the guys that we were using before externally, not working for the club, like Peony Zahavi, the Dutch guy whose name keeps escaping me, right? We'll still use them because they have expertise in other areas like Scandinavia, South America. So all this, just because they haven't heard of a player, they think it's a bad signing and they start complaining. And look what Bowley's trying to do to us and all this, right?
Yeah.
So it's nonsense.
Just Seb, you want to add something to it before you have any more to say? You can go ahead and say. Take the floor until you're tired. I'll take over from you.
Yeah, no, I think I don't know. Bowley's a difficult one with me. I think some things he does, I think, you're going in the right direction. Some things he's done, I think that's a bit a strange move. I think it's time will tell. It's the same with Potter, whether Potter's the right man. Some people have gone, he needs time, injuries and everything. I get that. It's just for me, is he the right man to take us forward? Has he got that? Is a step too big? But I think, we're just gonna have to see, really.
But Seb, to you, do you think that Potter need time, or do you think he need to be fired? What do you think? Should Potter go now, or do you think, in your opinion, he need time to work with his team, based on all these injuries, and he hasn't got time to work with the whole full squad? So, what do you think?
It's a difficult one. I mean, I'm as a young Chelsea fan, I've only ever seen Roman's Chelsea, and I know that he'd be gone now. He'd be gone. It's difficult because I'm saying this after a win, but everything after this, I think he'd be gone. I mean, I'm impatient. I'd love to see, Mourinho back, sort the players out, sort the dressing room out, get them going, get us winning trophies. But I understand, you can give the Arteta argument. You can say, look what happens if you have a young squad, young manager, it takes time. But I thought his argument comparing himself to Pep and Klopp was a bit of a poor one. I thought, you're not, you've done a lot, you've built up Brighton, you've gone places, but you're not Pep. You can't be saying, Pep had struggled at the start, I've struggled at the start, because I'd be giving Pep time. I think the thing for me is Potter the right man to be given this time? I think that's the question that needs to be asked. I mean, I would have liked this time in this process, as everyone keeps saying, to be given to Tuchel, because I think he had earned that. I thought he'd earned that title to be given, all the time in the world to work with his squad. Whereas, it hasn't worked, I'm gonna have to let it go. But it's difficult. If it works when it works, it's just how far do we fall? Is my thoughts.
Yeah, thank you very much, Seb, for that opinion. Steven said, just hopping in to like. Also, Neville Carragher and co just have a hatred because one, it's Chelsea. Two, it's isn't their club. Second, if it was it isn't their club. If it was narrative, we will be different. So that's what Steven is trying to say over here. Yes, we all know Gary Neville is all about. He says, talking of Sky, they just showed graphic biggest spend this season. So yes, Steven, if you can take a screenshot, I will let me send it to me, and I might share with the viewers in the stream as well. Yesterday,
unfortunately,
go ahead.
I've got to leave you if that's okay. Thank you. It's been really good to be on.
Yeah, Seb, I'll talk to you later behind the scenes. I'll talk to you later when I get a chance.
Thank you.
Okay,
Cool.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Have a good day, man.
Bye. You too.
All right, you too. Bye.
Can I respond to what Steph said?
Okay. What was that? What was that, Steph?
Can I respond to some of the?
So now it's just you and I here. It's just you and I. So
yeah, but I mean, well, there's people in the chat as well, right? Okay. Maybe Seb will watch the rest of the program. Send him a message to watch the rest of the program later on. Yeah.
Okay.
When he's got time. Right. I'll answer that. Right. This thing that the time should have been given to Tuchel is one thing I really want to respond to. Okay. Tuchel came from a background which is the same as Potter's. Yeah. Klopp came from a background which is the same as Potter's and Tuchel's. Okay. And Pep came from a background of being in Barcelona as the only coaching he did at their academy. Okay. And he's gone straight into Barcelona. He's gone into Barcelona. He had Messi, Xavi, all these players, yeah?
Yeah.
So his comparison, if Potter said that, because I've not seen it, but if Potter compared himself to Klopp and Tuchel, Pep, right, it's because Pep took 2 seasons to win something with Man City. Klopp took 4 or 5 seasons before he won his first trophy with Liverpool, which was mentioned last week in the show last week. And you compare Klopp with Tuchel, they both started at Mainz, yeah, and basically Tuchel followed Klopp around, right? So they both then went on to coach Dortmund. Klopp won 2 league titles, 2 cups, and a Super Cup. Took them to a Champions League final against Bayern Munich, right? Whereas Tuchel went to Dortmund with the same team and only won 1 cup. Okay. Now nobody said whilst he was at Mainz he's not good enough for Dortmund or it's too big for him. And only winning 1 cup at Dortmund didn't stop Paris Saint-Germain then wanting him as well. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's how you go up through the ladders, up the rungs of the ladder as a coach, right? Not many people. Pep's totally different because he started at Barca, right? Yeah. And he had great players. But the thing I want to say is, Seb said he would have liked to have seen Tuchel get the time instead of Potter. Okay. Now, all this goes back to the Champions League when we won the 1 Champions League. Right, forget the Club World Cup, that's 2 games. Right, forget the Super Cup, that's not a final. That's a one-off pre-season showpiece game. Yeah, and we didn't even win that. We drew and we needed penalties to win that. Forget those 2. Just concentrate on the Champions League. And like I said, I'm sure I told you this last week. We did it in empty stadiums, right? And we played some of our away games, but on neutral grounds. So the team we were playing weren't even playing in their own stadium. Lampard got us out of the group. Okay? So I'm different because I'm not young like Seb, and I have a previous before Roman, right? So I know where we came from, and I take the Champions League, right, in context, because Roberto Di Matteo won the Champions League and the FA Cup within 2 weeks of each other, right? Okay. We'd only ever been an assistant. So don't read too much into that Champions League, because it doesn't mean Roberto Di Matteo is a great coach, right?
Right.
Circumstances helped him win that, even though we did it in Bayern's back door in their own home, right? He had a squad of people who were desperate to win it and knowing that there could be their last chance. And that drove Chelsea on to win that Champions League. Didn't make Roberto Di Matteo, who is a legend, by the way, because he's the only one, him and Vialli are the only guys to win trophies on the pitch and manage. Yeah. Right. So at Chelsea. So get that into context out of don't read too much into that Champions League. Right. Fair enough, he went and won it. Fair enough, he went and won it. But you have to read more into the fact that last season we only won 9 of our 19 home games.
Yes, thanks, Sal.
That's not good enough. It's not good enough. Then we started this season losing 3 of our first 7 games under Tuchel, right? And 2 of them were against Southampton and Leeds, who were bottom 2. Yeah. So let's put that into context. Tuchel didn't want to work with young guys. Okay. You have to remember that Bowley was in talks with Tuchel to extend his contract and give him improved terms, right? And that's round about the same time he said we have to look into FFP. So they realised that they have to sign young players to get round FFP, right? Which we just discussed. Tuchel has no interest in coaching young players, right? So that's another factor. It wasn't just results; the results were bad.
Yeah, Stav. This is what Steven also comment. He said, Vialli is the most second successful manager in trophy after Jose Mourinho. So,
and he wasn't even a coach, right? He was a player coach.
Yeah, he was a player coach. I mean, I don't think he won anything. Steven, you can. I stand the point of correction. Even Stav, I stand the point of correction. I don't think Vialli won anything won anything as a coach. I'm not so sure. I know he won stuff as a player, but I'm not so sure if he won anything as a coach. I stand the point of correction.
He won the FA Cup as a coach.
Okay.
Right? Because I think he stopped playing by then. Which was 2002, and it was the year that he later got sacked.
Was it Ranieri? Ranieri took over from him, right? Before
Ranieri took over from him, and before Vialli was Rui Gullit, who was a player coach as well. Yeah. And when Luca Vialli took over from Gullit, we were already in the quarter-final of the Cup Winners' Cup and the semi-final of the League Cup, because we played Arsenal in the semi-final League Cup. So those first trophies of Vialli's were a bit of a joint venture. Okay. You know what I'm saying? With Gullit, right? And it's the same thing with Tuchel and Lampard. It was like an overlap, right? And Di Matteo wasn't really a coach, although he went to coach on to coach Aston Villa, right? He was an assistant to Andre Villas-Boas, but he was terrible, right? AVB was playing the system we play now, high line defence, and we didn't have the pace in the defence to play that system, which is what Liverpool are playing, yeah? But for that system to be a success, your forwards in your midfield have to overload and high press. Otherwise, the defenders come under too much pressure. Right, I actually think we can win on Saturday. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
because they've stopped pressing all this high press and overloading Liverpool. That's what they're doing wrong at the moment. No doubt he's going to try and change that, but I think because of the pace we've now got up front, right, and in the midfield, I think we can beat them. Right, I don't want to sound stupid and say that and then we get beat or whatever. I'm not saying it's a definite win.
It has to do with Liverpool game.
Yeah.
We'll come. Stop. You're jumping too high.
Well, you didn't tell me what
you're jumping too high. You're already on Liverpool game. We haven't even got anywhere yet. You're already on Liverpool game. Yeah, Steve said it's in the program yesterday. Go ahead, Stav. What were you saying?
Yeah, the two good thing, right?
Yeah.
People have to realise, right?
Summarize that, Stav.
That his record wasn't that great in the league. Okay, he didn't progress us. We just stayed wherever we were. With Lampard and Sarri, we're still in the same position, right? He's not a coach who can win a top league, and that's a fact, right? Because the only league he won was France, and that was in a one team league with the strongest team in that league, right? And he hadn't progressed Chelsea. His home record was abysmal, 9 out of 19, as I said, right? We drew 2 of our Carabao Cup games with Southampton and Aston Villa and needed penalties to get past them. We lost to Real Madrid at home. Okay, so that, like, you're talking, like, he wasn't that great. And you all watch the games, yeah? I assume you watch every game, Nick.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Well, you look at Burnley, Everton, these type teams, right? How we threw it away at home, right? 1-1 draws and whatever, and we threw it away, right? Because he played the same way at home that we do away, but away from home, it's on the away team to come out more, so they leave themselves open to us. But you can't do that at home, and he was doing that. Also, like I said, the 3 defeats in 7 games. The thing that he doesn't want to work with young guys. They had a meeting and they discussed all this. They obviously knew the type of players they have to sign to get round FFP. And Tuchel wasn't interested. He wanted big names, right, that to go for instant success. But it's not going to be. You could win something this year, but next year we'll win nothing. We're building up to being long term like Man City.
Thank you, Stav. Thank you, Stav. I know if I give Stav all day, he will never stop. So yeah,
I won't stop.
Stavy. Steven sent me this. Thank you very much, Steve. I know I like your energy you're putting in here. Steven is sending me stuff. He says 1998 League Cup. That's what Vialli won. I'm sure he won that. It was 1998 Cup Winners' Cup, 1998 Super Cup, 2000 FA Cup, 2000 Community Shield. Vialli won all of this, and according to what Chelsea said, with 5 trophies, he is the second most successful manager in terms of silverware, one behind Jose Mourinho, 8 of them. So congratulations to Gianluca Vialli. And also we'll be looking at the most spent, I had that on the screen earlier on. The most clubs spent that have spent a lot of money. We were looking at this. That is what we have on the stream of this woman. Come on. Yep, I think this is what we have on the stream. Get rid of this. Okay, the biggest spending this season, Premier League. This is from Sky Sports. Sky Sports are saying the Chelsea have spent 438.6 million. United have spent 227.4. West Ham 179.1. Tottenham with 172 million, with Nottingham Forest 157 million.2. They have spent lots of money. But then if you look at it, how Chelsea are doing their business, they're doing their business in a different way. If you're just joining us, guys, do not hesitate. Don't forget to put a like on the video and also get in the comment section below. Let me know what you make of yesterday's game. And also, like I said, Chelsea got 3 more signings to go. Trust me, I'm saying it. Chelsea has 3 more transfers to go before the end of the season. You'll be asking yourself why are Chelsea signing all these players, but then stay tuned and listen to what we're saying. We will explain to you. We've already explained more of why Chelsea have been able to sign Mihailo Modric and being able to sign Badiashile for over 6 years, Mihailo Modric over 7 years. On all of this, we have explained it from beginning, and we will go ahead and explain again. Stay tuned, send your comment in, and we will read it for you as we move on. Chelsea kept a clean sheet after 4 games with Badiashile made his first full start for the Blues. I know, like I said, the first 15 minutes, Badiashile was struggling, but then after he had He had, I think, Easy, or I think Easy or whatever his name is. Easy had him 10 left and right, but from there he understood the game, and then he was. I mean, he did very well. I'll give him maybe a 7 out of 10. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. But this year did a very, very good job. And also, Chelsea will head towards Anfield Saturday. I think this weekend. Yeah. Confidence in winning mentality is going to help the team very well because we're able to win our previous game. So yeah, it will help the team. A win against struggling Liverpool can prove to be a game changing for Chelsea in the season. Steven said it was in the program. I have here. Chelsea Perspective said, big up my brother and all my people. Yeah, big up my people. Thank you very much, Chelsea Perspective, for being here. And also, he says, Steven said, rivals crying about FFP all of a sudden is amusing to me. Absolutely, it is. People don't understand what FFP. They don't understand it, and when they see 100 million on Mahalo Modric, they think that is all. But FFP is in, and like I said, Todd Bowley is working his way around FFP. You know, they're not stupid. Todd Bowley is not stupid. He's investing into the club. But this is what a lot of Chelsea fans also don't know. There was a pre-agreement. There's agreement signed between Roman Abramovich and Todd Bowley and Clear Lake. There was initial agreement which was signed. None of them would take dividends out of the football club in the next 10 years. No one is taking money out of the football club in 10 years. And then I think the agreement was Todd Bowley was supposed to spend 1.7 billion on the team. People don't know this, but I'm telling you this, if you haven't made a research, some Chelsea fans that are very angry, I'm telling you, not be angry. The reason why Todd Bowley is doing all this, there's agreement there, and he has to buy that. Agreement between Abramovich and him and clearly the two of them have some agreement, and that's how much 1.7 billion is what he has to spend on the first team, because Roman Abramovich put so much money into the team and he doesn't want the team to be run down. He knows where the team was when he picked it up, and his investment and the money that he put into the team has carried Chelsea to where it was before Todd Bowley showed that interest to buy it. So if you show that interest to buy it, it means that it will something big to you, and somebody make that club what it is before buying it. So that was the agreement being set for Todd Bowley to pick that club up. What do you want to say, Stav? Do you have anything you want to say in regards to that agreement?
Like you said, they can't take any money out. All the income goes back in and reinvested. It's not just, it was 1.8 billion, right, that they have to pay in, right? But that's over and above any income, yeah? So, and they can't sell the club for 10 years either. It's not just about taking dividends. They can't even sell it. So this is a long-term project for Bowley and Clearlake, and for them to get anything out of it and benefit from it, they've got to make it one of the biggest clubs in the world who consistently win things, right? And it's not just a one-off here, league championship here, then 3-4 years, league championship again, 3-4 years, right? It's about being like Man City currently are now, winning 3, 4, 5 in a row consecutively, right? And that's what they're trying to build up to. And I think that's what Bowley did with his baseball team in America. They went 5 years without anything, and now they're one of the most successful clubs in America. And that's what they're trying to build, right? Americans, right, know how to make money, right? And they know that sometimes you've got to wait to make money out of it.
Yeah, if you look at the average, even the highest paying footballer, it's no any way can even compare to the lowest even paying player in the NBA or even in the American football. Those players, they earn more than the footballers you can even talk about. The only outstanding ones you can take out of the in terms of comparing the pay rate that the footballers make, and then the one that American footballers or maybe baseball team makes, it's way down. Was a couple days ago. I checked the lowest of all baseball player, either baseball or basketball player, makes almost about 600,000. 600,000. I think either 600,000. I'm not sure if it's a month or something. That's the lowest that a baseball or football player makes in the American League. So what the footballers make over here? Look, let's imagine Americans have really stand up and want to invest in football, which we call soccer, over here. They will make that game more lucrative than it is here. That is why he was trying to imply the and what do you call it? The one that he's trying to put in, and the British people did not like it. They were just saying, "Who are you? Just coming from the American, the league, into American league, coming into our league and tell us what to do." I remember he was just like here in America, they play the East and then the West game competition, where the one-off game they make a lot of money. He was trying to implement something like that here in, the British football, and they don't want it. Some Americans know how to make money.
You mean like the All-Star games and
the
things
All-Star
like that?
games? Yeah.
Well, we even have an All-Star game here in Cyprus, like for basketball, volleyball, football. Right, even in Cyprus they have them. But the problem is, in the UK, EPL want control over everything. That's what the difference is. They want control. Big up to Chelsea perspective.
Yeah,
Coachella. I just saw it come up.
Yeah, I just he said let me see what he said over here. He says a Bully and Co wouldn't risk it if we will get into problem with the FFP rules. That's what he said over here. He said a big up to you, Stav.
If he's listening, if he's still listening, I've sent him the thing I sent you. I sent him it earlier today regarding FFP. Right.
Okay.
Well, that's for Coachella.
Yeah. Let me read a little bit of the. I have just 3 to read, and I'll come back to you, Stav. Steven said perfect workaround, 6 to 7, 8 years deals to spread the fee on FFP, but because it is Chelsea. If I speak, I am in trouble. I understand what he's saying. Steven said All-Star game. Yes, the All-Star game is what I was trying to talk about. And North and then South, North versus South. Okay, I will check it. Yeah, he said that he sent it to you. So yeah, like I was saying, if the Americans really want to get hold of football, and soccer, which is British people call it football, it will be much more better than the way they're handling. They don't know how to invest and how to make a sport more lucrative. British people don't know how to do it. That's why Americans they have just American football and just one game, which is the Super Bowl. Do you know how much money they make? That game takes 4 hours, and halftime alone. Do you know how much money they make on halftime during commercialization, the advertisements, and all that kind of stuff within halftime? You'll be surprised. These Americans can make the sports more lucrative in Britain if they get involved. That's why you see the Americans are getting involved. The British people need to relax. Let these people take over the job. Okay, I'll stop you on floor.
The problem is, right, that everybody looks at the Glazers and looks at Arsenal's owners, right, and that's why there's and Liverpool's as well. That's why there's a situation where British people are a bit blasé about Americans. I didn't want Bowley. I'm not going to lie, right? But he bought the club, right? And the way I look at it is, Roman sold it to him because he trusted them, right? People like Marina, Bruce Buck, even Petr Cech, right? They had meetings with Bowley. All the prospective bidders, right? And he's the one they chose. Don't be thinking that it was a bank, the American bank, that made the final decision, because it wasn't. Ultimately, Roman was sat somewhere, right, on a phone, talking to Marina, right, and Bruce Buck, and the decision who to take, and they will have sent him information. So from my aspect, I've got to trust Roman's judgment, right? That's why I've accepted him, and I don't think he's doing a bad job, right? The situation was a bit iffy at the beginning because Petter and Marina left, and he had to do everything himself because it was too late to get people in. But he sacked the head of scouting. He sacked the head of the medical department. He's moved people on and brought other people in, right? This thing that you got to blame the medical department for the injuries.
Yeah.
Players get injured. It's as simple as that, right? And you look at the players who are injured and look at the way they play. They're more likely to be susceptible to injury, right?
Yeah.
Because of the way they play. And because of the World Cup, because the Champions League was in 5 weeks less than normal. It finishes the group stage, normally finishes in December, and it finished beginning of November. So that made more games, and players were playing too many games, right? So the type of player that we have, who are combative, who are runners, right, who go at people, they're more likely to get injuries. So to blame the medical department is a nonsense because the medical department can only treat people once they're injured. Yeah, not before. It's not like they're causing an injury. So too many games. People want to blame the injuries on anybody. Blame it on FIFA, right? Because the World Cup changed everything for every single league and every single confederation.
Thank you very much, Staff. Staff, thank you very much. Staff just said if you want to blame the injury department, do not blame them. You have to blame FIFA. So we're gonna look at the transfer dealings, guys. Chelsea are likely. Chelsea can sign three more players in this transfer window as it's open, and we'll be looking at players that Chelsea can be looking out for, players that Chelsea can sign. After finishing Mikhailo Modric, Chelsea are reportedly ready to make three more signings. The players are Nuno Muduki. I've said that many times. And Nuno Muduki, another French international player. Moses Caicedo, one of them, and also Enzo Fernandez deal is still hanging in there. If Chelsea doesn't sign Enzo, there's another alternative players that Chelsea can sign this January window. So there is more signings to be made. Also, we'll be talking another player that has been linked to Chelsea, Alejandro Balde. I'm not sure if some of you guys know him, but then I'll preview. I'll show his statistics on the screen. So
Barcelona.
we can Barcelona player, yeah, Barcelona player,
19.
Yeah, 19 years old. Staff, you know much about him, right? Take us through it.
No, yeah, I researched it when you told me that he was a target. The possibility is that we sign him and loan him out. Okay, that's because he's 19, and because we're already over the limit for foreign players, we now have to get rid of two foreign players as it stands. So we have either got to loan 2 guys out, right, or sell them. And Santos, who we signed, I believe is already going to go on loan. I don't think he's got a squad number. And we've got Gabriel Salina, the American goalkeeper. Don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work because I didn't include him in needing to get 2. Right, personally, if he's fit, right, controversial comments, I'd keep Slanina and sell Mendy, right, and that's a direct foreign for foreign swap. Yeah, that's just my personal opinion, right? But we have to be careful who we're signing because we still have too many foreign players. Aubameyang would have been likely to be to be going out, but he can't because you can only play for 2 teams in any given season. So that the only option is him going back to Barcelona. But the league have their own FFP, and they don't allow you to register a player twice in one season. That's to stop. That's to stop teams loaning players out and then dragging them back. That was why that was designed. So Barcelona is not an object, a possibility. So we may be stuck with Aubameyang. So you got to look at other people. So Newcastle, they're interested allegedly in Jorginho. Let him go. The only other option is if someone's going to be long-term injured, you don't register them when you have to redo the squad list. At the end of January, you can redo your squad list. So we've got to get rid of 2, possibly 3 players as it stands. So we've got to be careful now who we're signing. So the likelihood is if we're signing a 19 or 20-year-old, Potter looks at them and he decides if he wants to keep them or send them on loan. If we keep them, we've got to sell someone. I would think Balde will go on loan. That's just my opinion. Who was the other ones? There was another one, 20-year-old.
Is he from the place that Chelsea will be buying?
That you said they were going to buy.
Yeah. Definitely we'll come back to that one. It looks another Musah from it's an American, so Todd Bowley is interested in bringing more Americans in so he can. This is what Steven said. Steven said Slomini is under 21, also. Yeah, Slomini is under 21. Also, he said doesn't need to be registered as a result. In Chelsea perspective, said that Mendy will want to leave too. So we're looking like bringing the goalkeeper in. We have Kepa and the Slomini is a little bit. I'm not sure of his experience. I know, I'm being the best player in an MLS is way different from the Premier League. So I'm not so sure if Chelsea wants to keep him.
Can I just make a comment about Slonina?
Slonina,
Yeah, the thing that was just said that he can be registered because he's under 21.
Slonina.
Right? Well, we did that with Pulisic. The first year he came, he was down as an under 21. Okay? But you can't register him unless the rule has changed. You can't register him for Champions League games. So unless they've changed the rule, because we had to, Pulisic was eligible as an under 21 for the Premier League, but not the Champions League. I mean, he still played because we left someone else off the squad. So, in theory, he can play in the Premier League. And we might decide to just do that, just have him for the Premier League. And then just go with Kepa and Bettinelli, who's English despite his name, as the 2 for the Champions League. And we could include one of the young kids. We got 4 or 5 good goalkeepers in the academy and that. So you could make that the 3rd keeper. But Raphinha cannot play in the Champions League unless they've changed the rule, which was a situation we had with policy. And any foreign players we sign now, they'll be presented to Potter. Potter will decide if they're ready and if he wants them. And if he does, we've got to sell players. We already have to sell 2, right? But they'll go on loan. Balde will probably go on loan. Either that or they'll agree a deal and let him stay at Barca till the end of the season.
Okay, Steven said I thought was on about the Premier League, not the UCL. He thought we were talking about the Premier League, not the Champions League. Yeah,
I'm talking about registering players for anything.
Anything. So Steven, he said he's talking about registering players for either Premier League, FA Cup, any other competition.
No, the FA Cup doesn't matter. You register them the same as you do for the EPL.
No, that's what I'm saying. That you mean like register the player for the club?
English domestic football and Champions League.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna move on from Alejandro Balde, another good player from a Barcelona player. He's very, very talented, very, very talented. Okay, so as per EPL scouts, Chelsea are determined to sign Alejandro Balde, who is valued at around 20 million. Here says 15 million by Transfer Marketplace. It says 15 million, but this price is 20 million. But when I'm making my research, so yeah, Yunus Musah, the guy, is American, also linked with the football club. Staff, you know about him?
No, I don't know much about him. But it's
He
going to be
played.
the same.
He
It's going
played
to
in
be
the
the
World
same.
Cup too.
Yeah, it's going to be the same situation, isn't it? They'll probably sign him and leave him. When's the American League start?
The MLS. I'm not
Yeah,
sure. I don't watch the MLS.
yeah. Well,
No.
if it's due to start, which I think it is, January, February, I think it is. If it's due to start, they'll probably leave him on loan at his current club, like they did with Slanina. Because we signed Slanina a while back and left him on loan. So they'll probably do the same with him before bringing him over next season. And so that's the situation with him and Baldy as far as I can see it. Unless Potter wants them now, in which case he's going to have to offload people. But we need to move quickly because you've got what's it is, 15th, 14th, 15th, 16th. So you've got 2 weeks left, which means you've got to move players on in that 2 weeks as well. But knowing the club, we're probably already in talks about loaning out some players and selling them.
All right, Stevie.
As I said, one option, right, is to loan Ziyech to Ajax, and that gets a foreigner off the books.
Steven said apparently looking at potentially J5 out this window. That may be Ziyech too. So J5 and Ziyech, one of those two players, it look like they will be heading out this window.
Needs to be both. Needs to be both.
Huh?
Needs to be both.
Needs to be both.
Yeah, we already have too many players, foreign players as it is. But people don't want to pay Ziyech's wages. And depending on the fee. So that's why I said the best scenario is to send him to Ajax if they want him, because they're struggling in the Championship and they've lost a lot of players. So if they still want him, they wanted him in the summer, but we wanted 40 million for him and they won't pay that. So we could loan him just to get him off the books, off the squad list. And Jorginho, I'd just give him away free. He's going to get a free anyway. They can sign.
You have to try and sell him this January.
Yeah,
so
my point now. That's my point, right?
Yeah.
Is that if we don't sell him now, this month, he's going to go free anyway. Because he can sign a pre-contract. As of January, he can sign a pre-contract under the club. And don't be surprised if he does it. When you get to January the 30th, right, and the window's about to close, don't be surprised if he signs a pre-contract. So get him. Like, if Newcastle want him and they only want to pay 10, 15 million.
Newcastle won't want him. Newcastle won't want him. It's just rumors. Steven just said, I think he mean the MLS starts in the end of the February. MLS, it starts in.
So whoever it is will come and train with us. The guy from America probably come and train with us. So Potter can take a look at him and then go back to the MLS club on loan until next season, August time.
Steven said from what he's read, it looks like both players will be heading out. Chelsea perspective said J5 this window most likely, so he doesn't leave on the free. Yes, that's what I'm saying. At least they should sell him. If you have a little bit of money, that'll be fine. Hit the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel. Tobaho, I'm sure that's the right name. Chelsea perspective. I remember I was there the other day when you were talking. You said your name sounds Tobaho, not Tobago. Chelsea perspective, I've given you his own name. It says your name is Tobago. And his brother said no. Tobaho, or I'm sure I said it right, but big up to you, my brother. Uh, he said I'll hit the like button for me. Yeah, Stav, long time. Yeah, Stav is here with me. We're going through likely players that will be coming to the football club. Chelsea is still gonna sign more. Chelsea and Arsenal are set to compete for the signature of Valencia midfielder Yunus Musah, another good player, young player for the American national team. Arsenal want Raphinha. This is coming from Sports Italia. Arsenal wants Raphinha after Modric snob. After Modric did not snub Arsenal. Why are they making that statement? The Modric did not snub Arsenal. It was Arsenal who could not buy the player. It was just 5 million difference. Just 5 million. If you have a club that is penny pinching, that is how things go. 5 million difference. Arsenal could not pay for the player. Chelsea Perspective said, at Tobaho, CFC, big up, brother. And it says, Chelsea said, I butchered his name. Yeah, I know. We all do that. I do that a lot over here. Sometimes my screen over here, it's the laptop screen is a bit small, and I don't want to zoom in because when I zoom in, everything becomes so much a mess on the screen. So I have to go in down a little bit more to be able to read what I'm reading. But the screens up here are bigger, but I can't move my streaming, the StreamYard up here because then I'll be looking up here to do my reading. I don't want that. So yeah, sometimes it happens. You have to stream your eyes a little bit to read what is there. It says Moses Caicedo will be a Chelsea player. A Chelsea player. The issue is we have to wait for the 18th from this new agency. Thank you very much, Tobaho. I know you're working with Fabrizio. So please, when you get the news, do not send it to Chelsea Perspective. Send it to me directly, please. When you get the news coming, make sure you send it to me. Do not send it to Chelsea Perspective. Let me have it before I will send it to Chelsea Perspective. Because when I send it to him, I'll make sure I take some of the words out and I'll give him a little bit of it so he doesn't get everything. So please, when you get, as soon as 18th and you get the news, make sure you send it to me before it goes to Perspective. Stephen Costi said Chelsea had accepted because was basically what Shakhtar wanted this whole time was structure and add-ons. Yes, structure and add-ons. But then, like I said, Chelsea doesn't value Enzo Fernandez that much. No. Just what did I say? I think 5 months ago they bought the player for 12 million. And right after the World Cup, they want 120 million as a release clause for that player. That don't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense. Let's wait until this World Cup fever goes down and see if even people are going to come in for Enzo Fernandez for that much money in summer. No one is going to pay even 80 million for Enzo Fernandez. No one would do that. It doesn't worth it.
The issue is his age, right? Apparently, from what I've been led to understand, we were willing to pay that buyout clause, right? But we wanted to be spread over so many payments so we could get round the FFP. But they're insisting on the money, and because he's over 20, 120 million going on top of what we've already spent in the summer, not now, in the summer. Right, would create problems for us with FFP. So that's why we've just walked away from Fernandez. But they ultimately, if nobody else comes in for him, they might change their mind and get more realistic. Benfica are being unrealistic.
It is true.
But we can't add that onto the 200 and odd that we spent in the summer, which takes us to you have to remember the guys like Caicedo, Chukwuemeka, Hutchinson. They come under the under 20 thing, so that's how we can circumvent that. But he's over 21, right? And the 120 million. You throw that on top of Cucurella, Koulibaly, all this Sterling, all this lot. Suddenly you're finding yourself in trouble. So we need to be careful. And that's why they're not going for him. And that's why they're looking at other people, younger.
Okay. Thank you very much, staff. Steven said work fine for us compared to how it was reported initially, cost about 25 million. It's add-ons for Champions League and then Premier League wins. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And Steven also said Enzo was performing before World Cup as well, to be frank.
Yeah, because Benfica were doing okay in the Champions League.
But then
as well.
no one knows him. I didn't even know him that much until he went to the World Cup. No one even know him.
Yeah, but our scouts would know him.
Well, we should know him too. There are players that we haven't even played in the World Cup, but we know them now.
But do you watch it?
I don't watch it. I don't watch it. I don't watch the Ukrainian league and the league, but I knew of Modric when it was being linked with the club, and then I went to watching it. I went to watching some clips of him, and I knew this guy is a real deal. Right after that, I keep saying it. Chelsea Perspective even said it many times, so it's not just me. Lots of us know these players even without them playing the World Cup. I had Chelsea Perspective said it. I also said it many times. I watched clip of this guy. I even had Perspective said if we don't sign this guy and Arsenal sign him, they will win the league. You know, after I was saying it, I heard him saying, I said, this guy is the real deal. Because I watched clips and I said, no, Chelsea have to get this guy. So from there, I keep hyping the player, every platform that I found myself. And then yet we've have him. So I'm very, very happy we've have this guy. So we here that sits over here on this platform, we contribute a lot from the hypes. Tobajo said Arsenal offered the kid 35k and and offered 150k plus bonuses. Arsenal have no shame. You bid 95 million and give the kid 35k. I don't get it. It's not too much. 35k. Is it 35,000? I don't get it. Tobajo, is it 95 million? Well, 95 million was what they beat. Okay, I get it now. 95 million. It was just 5 million difference. Chelsea beat 100 million, including everything. So 35, 95. For just 5 million difference, Arsenal couldn't do it. 5 million. And then they're there crying that Chelsea have come in. Chelsea have come in for the player. It don't make sense. Tobago said Modric have his personal trainer, had worker. Modric has his personal trainee, had worker. I'm not so sure. I don't get this comment, but I'm sure what he's saying. He has a personal trainer and maybe it's personal people. I watched a video, Staff. I'm not so sure if you've watched this video of Modric. They asked him what that tattoo on his neck means. He said it's hard work. That is what has made me here. He said if the tattoo represent hard work, and through the tattoo, he was able to work hard to get it to make him to be able to be here at Stamford Bridge. So I like when people put tattoo on themselves and has good meaning. Some people put just anything at all on themselves. But this guy, I work the way he works out, and I said, no, this guy. And he said he liked Cristiano Ronaldo because of his mindset. He likes Ronaldo because of his mindset. And I hope that he carry on with that mindset. Tobago said, yes, he said he had work. Yeah, he had work. Okay. CR7 inspired him. Absolutely. CR7 said he said CR7 inspired him to get to where he is. I think Arsenal were too relaxed, given the rumor that Mikel, Modric preferred to join them. Yeah, I said this when I heard that. I said, people don't take this thing as a World Cup because a player can say something, but then it doesn't mean it. They've said it. He'd like to move away from the Ukrainian league to Arsenal because at that time, Arsenal was showing so much interest until Chelsea said, what is interest? We have the money. Put interest aside. We have the money to buy you. Do you want it? You want to play in the Premier League? Okay, Chelsea, 2 times Champions League winners. You want to join us? We've won the Premier League many times. This is a portfolio for you. Join us. And say, okay, I'm ready. Arsenal 5 million. You can't pay it. Who knows? Even they were going to pay the 5 million. It says,
Yeah, can I say something about that?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Right. The story come out now that Potter actually spoke to him before he signed for us, and Potter talked him into signing for us because he explained the project and things like that, and that's why he signed for us. So that's another thing Tuchel wasn't willing to do. One of the reports was Tuchel wasn't willing to call transfer targets, even his own transfer targets, to try and talk them into coming to the club. Mourinho did it. Yeah. Vialli did it. I think it was Vialli. Well, Hullet did it because he got Zola and Vialli in, didn't he? So you have to call them. You have to show an interest in them, right? You have to show that you really want them. And he wasn't willing to do that. There's a long string of reasons why Tuchel was sacked in the end. And it's not just all about form or things like that. He just wasn't willing to work with the young guys. All he wanted to do, turn up, do the coaching on the morning at training ground, do the games and go home. That's all he was.
Steven said Potter pool. Yeah, Potter also have the pulling power.
Yeah, listen. Let's be serious here, right? Whatever Potter's achieved, right, with Brighton or Swansea or whatever, right? He has a reputation within football, right? It was Pep who said that Potter's one of the top two coaches in the Premier League. That was Pep. It wasn't Potter who said it. Pep said it about Potter because he's got a reputation, right? And if you spoke any player when he moved to Chelsea, if you any of the media who spoke to any of his ex-players, they all bigged him up, right? They all said they wanted. He makes you want to play for him. So this nonsense side that I've seen from some people, he's lost the dressing room. Yeah, right. It's a nonsense because people want to play for him. Right? It was probably the same with Tuchel when he first came, but he was obsessed with his system, which didn't suit the squad. So now we're building the squad. If Potter has a similar system, but he's also showed that he's not scared to switch to a back four if he has to. Right? But Tuchel only ever did that in cup games against the weaker teams. So don't underestimate. Right? Who was it who said that? Taboga.
Yeah,
right?
Taboho.
Yeah, the Potter pull. But people just look at him. Oh, he's only ever managed Swansea. He's only ever managed Brighton. Right? Tuchel only ever managed Mainz. Right? And he still didn't stop him progressing.
Yeah. Stop. Oh, sorry. I was just trying to say what Taboho said. Taboho said Koundé deal. He said Xavi called Koundé. I think you have to sell the players. You have to sell the players.
The project.
You have to sell the players. The project. I'm not so sure what Taboho is trying to say.
The difference was right. That Xavi called him, right, sold him the project and told him where he wanted him to play, things like that. Now, the story I got is that Koundé, and this has come from Koundé, right, in the media, when he did an interview about it. He turned Chelsea down because Tuchel told him he wanted him to play a right wing back. So tell me, if he's going to play a right wing back, where was Reece James going to play? Yeah. He was planning on putting Reece James at centre half and playing Koundé at right wing back. That's two players out of position. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain here?
Yeah.
Right? And you're taking the attacking threat, right, of Reece James, possibly the best right back in the world, right? And you're taking that away from your team. And that's why Tuchel started losing players, because they kept thinking, well, this guy just doesn't want to be attacking. You know what I mean? And you see it from our play under Tuchel out from the back, slow, right? And that's why Mendy made so many mistakes. I don't want to blame Mendy, right? It's just that he's not good enough with his feet, and he kept getting caught out. You look how many goals he gave away by miscuing the ball or holding on to it too long to his feet, right? And I'm not blaming Mendy, I'm blaming Tuchel, because he kept picking him, knowing that he was no good with his feet, and he didn't play to Mendy's strength. You know, when we saw Mendy from Rennes, right, 84% of Mendy's footwork with the ball was long range. He used to just pump it up the pitch. 84%, right? And he's suddenly asking him to start messing about at the back with it. So he had to go. He had to go because it was too restrictive for our players. He didn't play to our players' strength. So when you had Reece James injured, sorry, I don't mean to okay, I'm just trying to explain. When you had Reece James and Chilwell injured, you could play at left wing back because you still had Alonso, right? But Alonso isn't the type who goes up the pitch and gets back. You understand? He stays up the pitch and he's slow coming back. And then you try to play Ziyech, Pulisic, Callum Hudson-Odoi at wing back. It's not their game. So switch your system to a back four to suit the players you've got and go 4-3-3. Right? Ultimately, we may see Potter switch back to the same system, 3 at the back, and 4 or 5 in the middle or whatever, right? And 2 and 1. Ultimately, we might see him do that. But he's now making sure he gets the players in to suit the system. You understand?
All right, Stav. Thank you very much, Stav. I said a lot. Tobaho said, I have to. I think I've read that one. Tobaho said, lost the dressing room, but the players are in the mud because of the board because the board trusts him. This is what I'm saying. Every manager at top level starts somewhere. What did Arteta do? Put out Cones for Pep and and became manager of Arsenal and got given time. Absolutely, yes, that's all he did. He didn't really do a whole lot. He talked to players and put out Cones. Yeah, Steven said that. Yeah, yeah. Arsenal are firing under Arteta. Yeah, Steven said that. You want me to read it again?
No. I just want to quickly add to that. Yeah. Right. What did Jose Mourinho do? He put
out a translator.
He's a translator, and he put out Cones for Bobby Robson and what's the Dutch guy's name? I've forgotten now. Mental block. The one who was at Man U later on, right? That's what he did.
Luiz van Gaal.
Yeah, Luiz van Gaal. Yeah. Right? But they let him take training sessions. They actually let Mourinho take training sessions. And they watched him. Yeah. And then he went to a second division Portuguese team, got them out of the second division, made them safe the second season. And next thing you know, he's at Porto, winning the Champions League. Don't underestimate coaches just because they did this or they didn't do that, right? Because he's a smaller club. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way to Brighton or Swansea. But because he's a smaller club, clubs that have to sell to survive, right? And can never get settled teams and stuff. Yeah, Cucurella, how many players did they sell this season? One to us, one to Tottenham.
You said one that's Basuma.
Basuma, right?
Yeah.
And a couple of others, right? So that's what Brighton are always going to do. They bring players in on the cheap and sell them to be able to survive.
Because very soon we're going to see McAllister also going, and then also Moses Caicedo, those two. Yeah. And even right now, they have a player who's not with them anymore.
Yeah.
Which is I forgot his name, Leonardo Trossard. Leonardo Trossard is not with them anymore. He's likely he's moving away. So as of now, they have 3 players that are on the radar. Very soon they'll be moving away.
Yeah, because he's fallen out with them, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And his agents released an official statement. Right, and that's the situation. Right? You look at no major coach, whether you're talking Conte. Right, Mourinho.
Yeah, there's one to Everton. So Tobaho said there's one to Everton. They've sold another player to Everton. Yeah.
Yeah, right. There's no coach Ancelotti, right? Mourinho, Allegri at Juventus, all these top coaches all started at small clubs, didn't win anything at the small clubs, moved on to the big club and used their education at the small clubs, right, to become successful. And that's what Tuchel did at PSG, right? He hadn't done anything, won German Cup. So people realise that Potter got 4 successive promotions with an amateur team in Sweden, right, and won the cup in Sweden. That was his first coaching job. He hadn't even been a coach at that point, right? And then he entered the Europa League, and he went to Arsenal and beat them, and Galatasaray. So don't this snobbery that the job's too big for him. You never find out if a job's too big for someone until they actually take the job. And he's been there 4 months. And as I said last week, the players have been away for 2 months on international duty. So how can you judge him? And all those injuries. Yeah. So you can't say the job's too big for him. You have to wait and see. Right? He's getting the transfer window. He'll get one in the summer because they're not getting rid of him. Whatever people think or want. They're not getting rid of him. He'll have a transfer window now. One in the summer where he buys and sells. Right? And he builds his own team. He gets a pre-season with them. Okay? And lots of training sessions in the summer. And then we see what he's really got come next September, or August, September. Can't judge him now because he's only basically had the team for 2 months. Because 2 months they were away on international duty.
Stuff. Yeah, let's try to move on and wrap up the rest of the news. Go ahead, Stav. Let's wrap up the rest.
No, I'm done. You wrap it up.
Okay. We got other ones we're gonna talk about. Naby Keita to Liverpool. Naby, according to Football Insider, Liverpool midfielder Naby Keita is all set to leave the club as a free agent next summer. Naby Keita, I know he's struggling out. Do we see this guy moving? Stephen, do we see Naby Keita moving away, Stephen?
I'm surprised he's still there. Because he's only ever been a bit player, hasn't he? He's never been like a star man, a regular or anything like that. He's only ever been a bit player.
Right, a bench player, Stephen said if we get a result at Anfield with this depleted squad, we then have about 2 weeks before next game because caps and stuff, so players will be coming back. Let me take it again.
Well,
I need my glasses. If we get a result at Anfield with this depleted squad, we then have about 2 weeks before next game because caps and stuff. So players will be coming back from I think injuries and stuff like that. Staff, go ahead.
Yeah, James and Chilwell are back in light training anyway. They've been back in training since last week, right? So the game after the Liverpool game is Fulham at home. So don't be surprised to see one of them.
We're probably going to see James first coming from the bench. Yeah,
so they might be less willing to take a risk because he's already been re-injured once, so we'll see. But even Kante is in light training, but he's not going to be fully fit till February, end of February. That's the report.
Yeah, I have a news. Go ahead, Stav.
They're all doing light training. They're all out on as Chelsea's fifth stand puts it, they're all out on the grass doing individual training. They don't train together, they train individually, right? And they're just basically doing running. And what will happen is they'll have a physio, right, and a fitness guy with each one of them, keeping an eye on them as they run around and do things like that. And this is what I tried to explain last week. Even when the World Cup was on, he had 8 injured players who he couldn't work with because injured players don't work with the squad. Yeah, they say to go on light training, individual training, and then when the physio or the doctor or whatever decides that they're ready, then they rejoin with the squad and start training. but he's not. Potter's not had that. He's not had it. I believe that he'll turn it around and we'll get going.
Steven said for fun back training at minimum. Individual. There was a post he just put up in all the GL. Okay, thank you very much, Steven, for the update. This is what Ben Jacobs said earlier on when he tweeted. He says Chelsea are actively exploring signing Moses Caicedo, although Brighton maintain no offers yet. Told CFC prepared to pay 65 million plus. Brighton would expect 75 million to consider a January sale. Moses Caicedo. Yeah.
No, give them 65 million and Jorginho. Let them have Jorginho.
I don't think they would take Jorginho.
That's it depends on the coach. Isn't he Ukrainian? He was
Roberto De Zerbi. I'm not so sure where he's coming from.
Yeah, he was Modric's previous coach because he made a comment about him.
Yeah, that he's a talent. Yeah.
Right. So maybe he sees Jorginho as the orchestrator. I don't know how Jorginho manages it. Coach after coach after coach trusts in him, and I don't see why. But I was just being how can I put it? I suppose sarcastic and saying give him Jorginho.
Jorginho.
So we already gave them Billy Gilmore for peanuts.
Yeah,
that was peanuts.
Yeah, they have Billy Gilmore. They have another one of our players who plays in the center back center back row.
Colville.
Yeah. They have two of our players.
Did you not see him at the weekend?
He did play.
Outstanding. Yeah. He was outstanding.
You bring him to Chelsea, then he'll flop. The pressure.
Didn't give anything. No, he didn't give anything away. Right? He was playing long defence, splitting balls. Right, opening up the Liverpool defence. Right, he should never have gone on loan. We'd have been better off keeping him and not bothering with Koulibaly. We wasted that money on Koulibaly when Colwell's already as good, and he's only 20.
I think putting him on loan has really helped him because keeping him at the club, he wouldn't have get that much game time that he's expected to get.
Yeah, but it's easy to say that, but injuries, right, have dictated that he would have got games, Sam. Right? Because we played Cucurella there when he could have played, right? Koulibaly missed 3 or 4 games with his back injury, could have played there, right? Could have rested Silva and played him in the middle. He can also play left back and left wing back, right? So we should have kept him. Utility players like that shouldn't be going out on loan. That's why you have a squad. And he would have been on the B list, under 21 B list. Okay. Same thing with Gilmore. What was the point of selling him, right? If we knew that we were going to sack Tuchel, somebody should have just took Gilmore to one side, said to him, stay, we believe in you, right? Things will get better. Don't tell him you're going to sack Tuchel. Yeah. Because we sold him in the transfer window as it was closing. And then a week later, Potter's come. And Potter wanted him. The fact that Potter wanted him and wanted Levi Colwill shows you that Potter is invested in young players. And that's what we need right now. We need long term to build for the long term and for it to be concerted success, not bits and pieces. Over the last 5-6 years, it's broken down a bit. Right, and we've lost 3 FA Cup finals out of the last 4.
Yeah,
something like that. So, yeah, we need to get these young lads in. We just have to accept that it could take them a season to gel and really find their thing. And by the time they've done that, people like Gallagher, Mason Mount, Chaloba, Harvard, all these players will then become the experienced players. Yeah. And they'll be hitting their peak. So they'll be the ones keeping the young guys together. What we really need is someone who's a leader, right? Who can be a captain. And that's why I keep thinking about Rice, because you watch him on the pitch and he is a leader. And if you get him and Mason Mount together, right, they'll bring each other out of each other. And suddenly you've got this leadership quality on the pitch. All of our players except Silva are pretty quiet. Silva's the only one who really shouts. I mean, okay, Aspilicueta, he'll get stuck in there and he'll get up to the top.
Okay, stop.
Move on.
We got three more. We got questions that we got to ask yourself. Stephen, if you can hear me, you can send your answers in. Can Chelsea turn it around after winning against Crystal Palace? Can Chelsea do that? I feel like Chelsea already have it. We already have it, but it's just that the confidence is what we're looking for. Can we play well and be able to win against Liverpool? It depends. We still don't have all our players back. We're still going to miss João Felix. João Felix got 2 more games, right? 2 more games to miss for Felix.
Well, the thing is, they haven't got Van Dijk.
Yeah, they're struggling.
They're struggling. They haven't got Van Dijk to play high line, right? So Henderson keeps getting left on the bench. So he's the real leader there with Van Dijk. So Klopp's, I think, is struggling as well. They're only one place above us. They're only one place above us in the league, right? And that's the team that finished second last season and got to the Champions League final. And now they're one place above us with an experienced coach who's worked with that squad, right, for a long 4 or 5 years. And we're like getting down Potter's throat while he's still trying to learn about his squad. People need to just step back, calm down, get patient, and be a bit more relaxed about it, because it'll come good. Because we were 10th when Jose got sacked that season, and then Conte went and won the league the next year.
Steve said, Steve brought his answer. He says, Modric versus Trent should be interesting. Modric versus Trent should be interesting. No VVD. Absolutely. Yes, we got Modric. Modric can play if he's ready. He can play. Liverpool.
He's trained
Liverpool
today.
Points.
He trained today.
He trained today.
Yeah. Straight into training.
He's ready. The guy is ready. Can Modric make an instant impact for struggling Chelsea? I think he can. My answer is I think he can.
Who's he going to be up against?
He plays on left hand side. No, Trent is on the right.
Yeah.
So Modric
will be playing against Trent.
Yeah, Trent. Yeah, Modric will play against Trent. Steven, you're right.
And we know that he's not as good a defender as Reece James is, right? And we know he's susceptible to people running at him, right? So it's going to be a good game.
I can't wait to see what the starting lineup is going to be like if he's included. I can't wait to see.
I would include him if he shows he's fit. Yeah, I would include him, but maybe he'll leave him on the bench at first. Right, all we have to do is contain Salah, right, and we're okay, because Jota's missing as well. They've got 3 or 4 big injuries as well. So we can contain Salah, stop him doing anything. And then even if Modric doesn't start and then he goes on, right, and starts running at Trent Arnold. Okay. Right? But my main problem is playing Harvard at the top, right? Because he's too languid. Do you understand languid? It's a proper English word, right? Too languid and too laid back. That when you look at him, right, he needs to be in their central defenders base, right? Because they're not confident either. So
Um,
get in that face.
Steven said, "How many times will Modric put Trent in his rear?" How many times would Modric put Trent in his rear, like leaving
On the
behind
backside.
in his backpack? Yeah, Steven. Many times. Let's see how he can handle. How if he can really handle Modric. Let's see, because I know that guy has lots of pace and power.
I'll tell you something, Nay, right?
Yeah,
Even Lewis Hall will cause problems for Trent, right? You saw the problems. The only problem with Lewis Hall is his finishing, right? He could have had
yeah,
3 or 4
finish.
goals now,
Yeah,
right? That's
or
from
even five.
Sunderland.
The Champions League
Yeah,
games and
yeah.
5 goals.
Even against City and Newcastle, he had chances. So if you work on his finishing, because he's a midfielder really, yeah. He plays at left back, at stretch for the youth team. They used
Yeah,
him there 3 times, but he's predominantly a midfielder. And when you're looking at him, yeah, you're looking at Chalobah, right? You look at Harvey Vale, yeah, who's out
yeah.
on loan.
And then
You look at all these young English kids, right? They're the future. And you're going to have all these foreign lads and these English kids all developing and growing together. Right? It may take a couple of seasons. And Bowley's actually said there's no rush. Right?
Yeah.
Charlie Webster. You got Charlie Webster, right? That's another top talent. Charlie Webster. Right? If you get a chance, you can see some of the youth action on Fifth Stand Up.
Yeah.
Or you can see it on YouTube anyway. Some of the games are on YouTube. Watch some of the talent we've got. They won 7-0 the other day away to Norwich. Right? So it's a conveyor belt of talent. Right? And then you've got
Good stuff.
Patterdine.
Yeah, stop. Let's bring the stream to an end. Just so we got 2 of us watching. I'm sure it's one would be Steven. Steven said, I was saying at game yesterday regarding Cucurella. Imagine how bad you must be. How bad you must be, and look, we have seen the performance to be benched for an 18-year-old center mid, outperforming you in your position.
Does Stephen go to games then? Is he from England?
He goes to every game.
Yeah, he's from England.
Yeah, he's from England. He goes almost not every away game, home games. He goes to almost all the home games. Yeah. So, he said when managers is your former manager. When manager is your former manager. Is he talking about Roberto Giuseppe? I'm not so sure who he's talking about. Says I was saying at game yesterday regarding Cucurella. Imagine how bad you must be, and look, we have seen the performance to be benched for 18-year-old
You read it?
Yeah, I've read that one.
You read it? Yeah, he's right as well. But the thing is, Lewis Hall has earned it. He's earned that right to play. Mm-hmm. Yeah? I don't even think so. I think he had a bit of a ropey game against Man City last week, right, in the cup game. But every other game he's been really good, just his finishing, right? Okay. And you're gonna struggle against Mahrez and whoever else was on that side if you don't get help from the guys in front of you. Mm-hmm. But Potter will get it right. These kids are gonna really entertain us. They're gonna give us silverware. We just have to be patient. I waited 26 years, Nate, 1971 to 1997 to see a trophy. Yeah. And it's been trophies ever since, even before Rome. But you have to be patient. Right? You have to understand that sometimes you need to build.
Right. So thank you very much, Stav. Stav says sometimes you have to have patience. Sometimes you need to rebuild. I'm not so sure what Steven is saying over here. Probably I'll talk to him later. He will explain to me. 100%. He said 105.
He's agreeing with me.
Oh, he agree with you. Over 100%. Okay, I get it now. Over 100%. So I get it. So Steven, I'm not gonna bug you because Stav already told me what you mean. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for everyone that have been here. Steve in the chat, very, very, very important in the chat. Although he's not on the panel, he will more be in the chat for number of minutes and minutes that he's been there. It's very, very important. Staff, much appreciated, Staff. Thank you very much for being here all the time for me. And I'll talk to you on the other platform very soon once we end the stream. And I want to tell Chelsea Perspective to Baho, everyone, Steven, I've said it. The most lovely, I 123 love you. Thank you very much for all you do. Phantom of Minute topics, amazing. So, guys, we'll see you guys again for another transfer show. My name is Nate Zion. Once again, see you on the other side. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Blue Clouds TV.